A cave is a cavity inside a rocky mass. Many of the longest and deepest caves form a system of caves that can become very complex. So where are caves found? Caves are found all over the world. What you're looking at here is called a karst map, and the purple areas are showing a type of landscape called karst, where dissolving bedrock creates sinkholes, sinking streams, and caves. I had trouble finding a karst map of only Oregon, but if you focused in on Oregon, the dark green areas show exposed carbonate rocks, and the red areas show volcanic cytokarst. Zones of caves are differentiated according to how much light they receive. If the cave is large enough, it will have 3 zones. You will see an entrance zone, which is at the cavern's opening, a twilight zone, which goes from the entrance of the cavern to the end of the light, and a dark zone, which is the area of a cave with no light at all. Where does the energy for a cave come from? Sunlight, the little bit of sunlight that does come into a cave, provides photosynthesis for plants. Floods bring in sticks and additional vegetation for insects. Animals may bring food into a cave or become food themselves if they die inside of the cave. And then guano, which is bat poop, offers a source of food for bacteria and fungi. What kind of animals do you find in a cave? You find troglodytes, which are cave guests. You can also find troglophiles, which can live in the dark zones and outside of a cave. And then troglodytes are really unique creatures that live only inside of caves. Some examples of troglodytes are bats, bears, and people. Some examples of troglophiles are salamanders and frogs, and some examples of troglodytes are certain types of fish and shrimp. So plants that you're going to find inside of a cave, at the entrance you'll find plants like trees and grass. In the twilight zone you're going to find plants such as moss and ferns. When you get into the dark zone of a cave, you will find things like fungi and algae. So why should we care about caves? We should care about caves because they retain a constant temperature and constant humidity, which allows only certain creatures and plants to survive. And because caves hold a deep history due to this non-changing atmosphere, there's animals that have survived in a cave that would have gone extinct probably thousands of years ago if they had not still been dwelling inside of a cave where things typically remain the same. Also because caves hold these unique animals called troglodytes, which, as you can see in these 2 pictures, these little critters have almost no pigment in their skin at all. And they're also lacking eyeballs, if you can see that in the photo. So because they live in a completely dark area, they obviously don't need eyes because they can't see anyway. So they have evolved where they have enhancement of their other senses, longer appendages, and then no eyes, or if they have eyes, they typically don't function. So how as human beings have we impacted or affected caves? Well, as you can see on this slide, there are several reasons. We have brought in other food sources. Often we introduce microorganisms that do not live in a cave via our shoes and clothing. And then lights and tourism can affect the core temperature of a cave, which may seem like a very small thing until you remember that from on my last slide, I said that caves retain a constant temperature and humidity all on their own. So when we're bringing in lights and our own body heat, we're actually changing that temperature and having a deep impact on the plants and animals that live there. And then what can we do about it? Well, first of all, very simple. When you go into a cave, leave nothing behind. And also when you exit a cave, don't take anything out that you did not bring in. And then also some caves that hold tourism and tourists are actually turning their lights out when they're not having tours to negate some of the impacts of bringing lights into a formerly completely dark area.